Hello everyone, welcome back to Michael's Funhouse. It's been a while, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Nightmare Balloon Boy, and watch the Balloon Boy video to get some clips to figure out how to make. He's right, Nightmare Balloon Boy's sitting right over there, but first, let me show you what he actually used to look like. Let's get started. So this is a little clip where I decided to show you all what the before I turn him into Nightmare Balloon Boy. Now I'm taking him apart. I'm taking the buttons off, which I used to have Velcro, taking the arm and all those glue. I'm taking that little tube thing off. I gotta take the sign off. We don't need the sign or the thing. I'm taking those apart because I gotta do a little repairment on that little silver part. Taking all the glue off. Don't need any of that. Now I'm cutting his eyeballs off. Well, ripping that one off. Now I'll be taking off the nose. Here is where I'm removing the cheeks. Gotta cut both of them off. Don't want any of that on. And here's a cool little tip for you guys. Make sure that the puppet is hollow, because it will be too heavy for the body to hold. So make sure it's hollow. I'm removing the Velcro. As I said earlier, I had the Velcro for the buttons. Well, I'm cutting the arms in half because, well, so he has more movement for the arms. And please do not mind the camera movement. I think I accidentally hit it a bunch of times. So when you cut the things, well, when you cut the arms in half, you're going to be needing some circles to put at the edges. You know, well, to block the holes. Well, now I was making sure they fit, and then you'll be gluing them on. So, as Balloon Boy is kind of a little bulgy in some spots. So I'm cutting those all the bulgy parts out, so he needs to be nice and flat. Well, I know he's big and round, but I can't really cut his whole body out to redo it, so I just going to make him kind of a little bit more flatter. Well, this is where the cardboard's to fill in the holes, because you don't want it to be completely hollow. You don't want to have holes in it, right? And the triangle I'm cutting out is actually a piece of his nose, because last time it looked like a Sesame Street nose. Here's where I'm gluing in the patches of the holes, well, the little cardboard things onto the holes. And this is where I'm making the rest of the pieces for the nose. Once you got all the pieces cut out, I want you guys to glue all the nose back together, like so. Since all the pieces are finished, it's time to paper mache everything. So it might take you at least maybe 3 or 4 or 5 different layers of paper mache. Well, it will be worth it once it's done. Nice and hard, solid, good. Oh yeah, here's another little tip of what you should do with the arm, with the hands, and that little bulgy part, the sleeve of the shirt. Make them out of styrofoam balls. So here's where I'm paper mashing the face, and yes, I don't have the best camera view. I'm sorry for that. So this is that little thing, silver thing I was telling you about. It was a little too big, so I'm cutting it down to maybe an inch size. And this is where I'm paper macheing the body. Yeah, once again, it'll take about like a couple layers of paper mache to make sure everything's all good. And also crumple up a little wet paper towel of paper mache, and just usually it will help with making it a little bit more smoother. This is where I'm paper macheing the little doohickey, which needs only at least one layer, because cardboard hardens a lot better than what Blue Boy is. This is where I'm making the fingers by having the hand close to where I want it, and then tracing out what I want the fingers to look like. Kind of look like pointy ovals. That's what you want to make it look like. Now it's time to paper mache the fingers. You gotta glue the fingers on once you're done with the paper mache. That's something I did that did not work out too well. Now it's time to glue the fingers back where they should be. Now it's time to cut the head open for the giant mouth that Nightmare Balloon Boy has. Now I did a little tracing of where I want the hole, what the holes to be size. For the head, you want at least a smidge smaller what the bottom of the mouth is, so it can fit. And for the bottom, just make a tiny little hole that should be covering. Now it's time to glue everything in. See, that's why told you guys to make it a smidge smaller so it can fit on more deeper in the head. And here's why I told you to make a hole, basically just a small circle just to cover the hole of the between the body and the head, bottom of the head. Because, well, and now we're paper macheing the inside of the head, but as I was saying before we jumped into the paper macheing, just a small little hole just to cover just a tiny little circle just to cover the hole between the body and the mouth. Man, that was difficult to say. Well, now we're recutting cardboard, like maybe a thin little piece. I'm not. You gotta basically rough estimate it. I did not measure it because I don't know. I usually don't measure, but we're cutting some thin cardboard pieces for the teeth and the second mouth. And if the pieces are not long enough, you might have to cut out multiple of them and glue them all together. Now I'm basically gluing the cardboard so I can glue it onto, well, the mouth, the bottom jaw, and the top jaw as well. Now I'm paper macheing the second jaw. So this is where I'm cutting out the teeth. Well, gotta make sure they're nice triangle and pointy, and a lot of them. Now it's time to paper mache all the teeth. Lucky for you guys, these are cardboard, so you don't need to add as many coats. Don't worry guys, I am not going to be sitting here and letting you guys watch me paper matching all the teeth. But right now I am gluing on the cheeks for Nightmare Balloon Boy, reattaching them. Now I want you to take like a good sized styrofoam ball. I'm not really too sure if it's like a medium, but I want you to cut it in half. And now I'm taking a McDonald's coffee container and basically cutting out where the coffees would be sitting. Now I'll be tracing the outer layer so I have a perfect hole to where to stick it for both eye sockets. Once the hole's been traced, I want you guys to cut out the circles. Now it's time to glue the little coffee things in with hot glue so you can have some eye sockets. Once those coffee things are all glued in, I want you guys to start paper mache. Just try add one layer for the first because there is holes. Once you're done with the first layer, you can add more. Oh yeah, you can also paper mache the cheeks while you're at it too. Oh, and if you're wondering what to make the cheeks out of, you could either crumple up a ball of newspaper and paper mache it, and then once you're done, once it's all hard, you can cut it in half and empty it whole, make it hollow. Jeez, I can't speak today. And or you can just take a sample bowl and cut it in half. And this is where I started painting the inside of the mouse. I think I might also got a couple of the videos of the painting mixed up, so I'll mention it once I find them. Now, since the insides of the mouths are all painted black, you should paint the outside of the mouths to make them a peach color. Well, if you guys can find a peach paint, go right ahead. But I made this customized myself with white, brown, orange, and yellow. Now we're painting the inside of the upper head. Well, once you're done with the inside of the mouth, it's best off to paint the eye sockets all black. Once you finish with the eye sockets, it's best off just to paint the whole entire face. Not the whole head. You don't want to do that because the whole head is also separated with the hat and the hair. And also the cheeks, but I'm pretty sure that should be all. And also, don't forget to paint the second jaw. Just want to make that clear. Now it's time to paint the cheeks nice bright red. While you're at it, I kind of also want you guys to add a little dot in the black just to make them look spookier. Well, now it's time to start painting the stripes on the body. I basically draw some stripes and time to paint them with purple and red. Yes, I also might have accidentally went over the lines. Just make sure you get, if you guys do that, just make sure you fix it to make them look good. Now I'm painting the eyeballs nice bright red. Well, to give them more of a scary look. Now I'm painting the empty stripes with Christmas red. The other ones were bright red, but the stripes, I want to make it Christmas red. Now I'm painting the hands the same peach colors I did with the head. Now, since the hands are done, I'm going to be painting the lower arms. And since all the arms are done, it's time to be painting the stripes with some Christmas red and purple. Now I'm painting the nose like an orange color. Kind of make him look like a Sesame Street character. Now I'm going to be painting the little tubey thingy silver. Oh, for the propeller hat. That's what it's called. Now I'm going to be finished painting the stripes with purple. Well, apparently I lost the videos where I painted the hat and the hair, but anywho, once just paint it with the same colors as you did with the rest of the stripes, and just for the hat, you can add black stripes to give it a little extra detail, as well as adding little white circles for the eyes, like the inner eyes, and also, this is where I'm painting the legs blue. You gotta make sure the pants are blue. Now we are painting the shoes brown. Yes, the shoes gotta be brown, and I might have accidentally painted the bottom of the feet black because I thought it was black for a minute. Now I'm gluing onto the nose. I'm gluing the nose on, and the little propeller things. I already had the propeller thing already made, so don't really need to remake it. And now I'm gluing the teeth on. I want to make the top front jaw. Maybe stop at a little bit of the end, but don't want to go all the way around. And the same with the bottom jaw. And for the second jaw, just glue like 4 little teeth on for. That's it. And here is where I'm gluing on some strings to attach the arms and legs. Here is where I'm gluing on the buttons, and all you have to do is for the buttons, cut out some circles, paper mache them, paint them black. That's all you have to do for the buttons. And here is where I'm basically gluing some strings onto the jaw. You don't want to make it too long of a string or the head's possibly going to flip backward and break off. And this is where I'm gluing some strings on the pants. You might want to have some longer strings for the arms and the legs as you did on like the jaw. And here's the finished project of Nightmare Balloon Boy. I already paper mache a balloon and with regular Balloon Boy, but I'm keeping it the way this is. I think it's kind of would look creepy. So here he is. Again. Yep. Nightmare Balloon Boy. If you guys want to see more puppet videos or me going to get making 3D printed stuff, which I am going to get soon, hit a like and subscribe. Oh, and check out Game Blast. Wait, not Game Blast. Funhouse Gaming if you want to see me post more videos. Peace.